back to episode 13 of Cast to Oblivion. I'm one of your co-hosts, Carter Barton, joined by the fourth Gone in the Flash, Zach Donahue.
Nice.
Zach,
That's a good one. I'm doing well.
how are we doing, man?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to talk about this. I feel like this is a topic we've kind of delayed for a little bit, for better or for worse. So talking about Master Pack Assassin, some usurp things, and this kind of house cleaning in the world of Fab. So it should be a good one. How was your week in Flesh and Blood, though?
Really, really good. So I struck up a amazing trade deal with local legend Cliff, where I traded him a full playset of the Fate Foreseen promos from Vegas for a large number of Master Pack Warrior Majestics, as well as some Up the Antes. So
Okay.
I had the privilege of playing Olympia in Classic Constructed this weekend for Armory. This deck is pretty legit. I honestly think Olympia went from being 0 to hero this set in terms of just having identity with his hero ability and Golden Grail now. And besides Golden Grail too, like some of the Majestics that you are able to like destroy a gold token to pay for free feels very strong.
Yeah.
I threw the deck together on a little bit of a whim. I just wanted to play casually, and there's a point where I am like already winning pretty handily into a Kasai, and then the end of the game I just go like red big slick, the one cost pump from the Olympia armory deck that gives dominate if you're wagering, and then like another one cost 3 pump, so it was like 15 dominate. It's legit. You can kind of just end games out of nowhere, and if you're playing smart with your wagers, like you can kind of just get away with things that you really, really shouldn't be able to get away with. Tunic resource too, like if you have a gold token and a tunic up, you're able to play one of your one cost wager pumps and then just attack for 7. And it just keeps like the tempo's disgusting. It is really, really gross.
Yeah.
Pretty great equipment suite too. Just like all things considered, the deck felt good, which is
Nice.
more than can be said about the majority of Olympia decks that I've seen played. Obviously, Great Axe is good, right? It's like a identity card for Warrior, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the hero you play matters. Because like Decimator lists for Dorinthia and Olympia are relatively similar, all things considered.
Yeah.
The pilot doesn't matter. The weapon is what matters. Olympia now actually feels like he has an identity, which is sure, Golden Grail, but only he can really play it. So
Makes sense.
I had fun. It was a good time.
There we go. That's what matters. How
about you? How was your armory?
I just played one armory this weekend, so this week. Usually I'm like 2 or 3, but I'm taking a little step back before Usurp comes out, before ProQuest season, really. Just give myself space. And I ended up brewing a new variant of New Cilio.
Ooh.
So a Cilio 2. I brought that just because I wanted to do something different. I played the Cilio since he came out, so almost like 24 straight months. Like, I know that deck pretty well. I'm not worried about that. That deck's gonna LL or not LL by the time I have my ProQuest. So like whatever. I don't need additional reps on it. I want to do something new. I want to build something exciting again. Kind of like you. I want to just have fun. And that's what I did. So I played New Cilio. Round 1 was into a Dory, really close matchup, but I understood they understood what they needed to do, because you can only have so many 2 for 5 arcane.
Sure.
Like you only have Comet Storm and Voltic Veil. Yeah, Comet Storm and Voltic Veil. So understanding like them knowing when to block out and let me have the damage come through, and then like you have enough blues, or I built the deck that I have enough blues. But if you don't have the spells, the 2 for 5s, the 1 for 4s, the additional effects, like even with AB3, they kind of just fatigue you out of damage. I think I misplayed a couple things here and there. But like it was a really cool learning experience. Round 2 was into an Olympia. They look at me, they go, I just outraced you. I'm just like, I'm still a wizard. Like that doesn't go well. So I blew them up from 13.
Yeah, that seems about right. Honestly.
Yeah, so Flashbolt does a lot of work. Metacarpus Notes does a lot of work,
Ooh.
and Cosmic Flare and the blue do a lot of work.
Ooh.
So
Okay.
that's kind of what I blew up, and I had like a strike twice too in there,
Yeah.
and a flash bolt. So pretty happy with that. And then
I'm
round three was
assuming
into a tough nut.
I'm assuming the lightning flow production is still kind of the limiting factor for the deck, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you don't really
So
get to activate your hero ability very much.
and then I played a tough nut, and tough nut also had just rock, which means that I can't use my prevention based cards. So I sided all of those out and played for fatigue, but it was really unfortunate because I never like you're saying, I didn't have any lightning flow generation. I ended up making 3 flows over the course of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I get there if the card left my hand is not a scour when they come in for lethal.
Mm,
So I needed again one more 2 for 5s.
yeah.
So you need to make lightning flow matter, but you also need to have like a density of 2 for 5s, 1 for 4s, things like that. Like Kano could get around that because you could just Kano something off the top and then just like chip in damage as you go. Like you don't necessarily have that same grace uh, with New Cilio and some
Mm-hmm.
of the way New Wizard's been designed. So which is fine. But like I learned a lot and I had a lot of fun. Like it was like cool. This is like flesh and blood. It's a different access. I'm playing a slower game. I knew what my outs were, so that was exciting in that regard. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I really am a fan of the new Astilio simply because he has very interesting play patterns.
yes, he does.
Specifically off of the new lightning chess piece.
Yeah,
Um, it's just cool.
yeah.
Like I don't
I
know,
mean, being able to make a resource
it looks fun.
and
So
yeah, I'm excited to explore the deck. So like, I think I learned what I needed to, but now it's just like I wish I had like 6 more slots. I feel so much more comfortable with the deck. Um,
yeah.
but
I mean,
it's
pretty
also
soon
weird.
we'll get more cards.
Yeah, I think one of the things too is just like I think a world where New Cilio is good is also a world where there's fatigue, and if you need a fatigue package which takes 5 to 6 cards,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, that's fair.
and so like that's really what my sideboard hinges, um, was those 5 to 6 cards, which means that like the ability for me to side in the 1 for 4s and the 2 for 5s that I want, a swell tidings or something else in between, just isn't there. You don't have the
Mm,
deck space for it, and you end up only having like four. You only have 12 cards that really matter for when they do arcane. And
yeah,
like you can't really get there off density of numbers.
I do
So
really like the new staff design though.
yes, I like the more I play with that Volzar, like the more fun it becomes. It's a good thing other Volzar is gone. Like the simple quest of play a sigil, do whatever you want. Probably not healthy. But I think with this new design of having instance in the bin and like it works really well off of hero ability, and then you get this additional ponder generation, so you're always playing off 5 card hands. This is how that 5 cards hand sequences and functions. So
Yeah, I'm glad you're having fun with it. Hopefully,
yeah,
we get. I would not be surprised if we got a majestic expansion slot lightning card that
yeah,
had lightning flow production in some way, shape, or form. This set. I don't know what it would be,
yeah.
but
I don't either.
if I had to like design a card, like just off the top of my head, I almost would give them like a blue 3 block that attacks for 2, and then when you attack with it, you can pay up to 3 resources and make that many lightning flows.
Yeah. So I have two
I don't know.
as cards I would like to see. One is a lightning equipment in the glove slot that says you start the game with a lightning flow,
Sure.
and then blade blade break 1 when this blocks make a lightning flow.
Okay. Interesting. It's just like a
And then
little production to start the game.
yeah, so it starts the generation early, which is good, and then you can kind of just like on demand kind of make the flow that you need. Similar to like it feels similar into the vein of Bolton's new arm piece, where like when you block with this, it goes to soul.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like that generation factor that we kind of seen them play into. Like it's not huge on its own, but it does enough to help get you there, which is good. And then I would also like to see a most likely a yellow 0 cost, maybe 1 cost instant that says deal 1 arcane, but has the starfall trigger of if an instant's gone to grave this
Ooh.
turn, destroy X number of lightning flows and deal X plus 1 damage to your opponent. So you have a
Ooh.
flow payoff at the end of the game.
Sure.
I think that's fair.
I think that would be
I
pretty cool. The issue I have with a card
balancing
like
that is
that,
a nightmare.
yeah,
Yeah,
the issue I have with a card like that is the Fable becomes that much more
that's valid.
necessary, I guess.
I mean, I
Um
feel like it's already necessary in the
yeah.
deck. So
I gotta admit, it was fun this weekend with Olympia, the new wager card from his armory deck that allows you to go tutor a card from deck and put it on top. If you have Tropal Donnie in your deck, you get to like repeat get value out of it.
disgusting.
I got to do it once, like whatever, right? Like I pitched it the previous turn. The next turn I wagered the tutor a card, and I just like went and put it back on top, pitched it again, and my opponent goes, "Wait a minute, you can't do that." But yeah. Diving into the main topic though, yeah, we're keeping it a little bit shorter this week. Zach and I, both in terms of playing Flesh and Blood heading into Usurp, as well as with this podcast, like it's not that we're running out of things to talk about per se. It's just that a lot of things we want to talk about are not necessarily on the nose topics right now.
Yeah,
Um, Everyone's kind of in the Usurp waiting room.
yeah.
That's like perfectly fine. So we have filler episodes such as this one, where we're
I
just
wouldn't
kind of
call this a
like,
filler. I feel like this is an important
eh,
one to talk about. I feel like
true,
last week was a little filler, but
true. Okay, yeah. Next week, however, before we dive into the main topic here, we will be intending to do our first mailbag episode. So if you have any questions at all, please join the Discord in the link below, whether you're on YouTube or Spotify, and put all your questions into our channel labeled questions, aptly named.
yep,
We will do our best to answer all of those and more next week. So,
yes, yeah.
but without
But
further ado,
main topic here is going to be Mastery Pack Assassin. Got revealed about 2 weeks ago. By the time of us
mhm.
recording this, has created a lot of discourse online in Discord, things like that as well. But you're a long-standing assassin player. You have
Mhm.
taken an Azuri to a pro tour, and you have, to my knowledge, you've won a Huntsman Pro Quest RTN, or at least top
Oh
aided,
goodness.
or at least have had success with
I
the
have
deck. So yeah,
I've qualified for U.S. Nationals on Huntsman before.
there we
I
go.
had like a top four performance during like heavy hitters season.
Yeah, which is awesome,
Yeah,
cool,
I've
great,
played
more
I've
power to
played the
you.
deck since it came out though. I will say that.
Yeah, yeah,
So I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly.
yeah. So, and I think one of the things with coming out with Mastery Pack Assassin is I think we are both of the agreement saying that Assassin does deserve a Mastery Pack. I think a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Assassin's been in the meta XYZ." It's been really Assassins that have been in the meta over the last couple of years have been new, which got carried a lot by some of the Mystic talent and the just the sheer power level of
Bonds of Agony.
Mythvale and Bonds of Agony. And then after that, we had Slippy abuse Bonds of Agony. And now we have Mario, who just kind of just abuses massive on rate, on hit numbers.
Yeah.
And heroes such as Azuri and to a degree Huntsman have kind of dropped away, and they need, just like how Dory, Olympia, Hala, any other ranger that you can not ranger, any other warrior you can think of needed additional support as well, and they got that in Mastery Pack Warrior. We're gonna see a similar type of thing with Mastery Pack Assassin.
Yeah. So what we are not trying to say is that other classes don't deserve mastery packs because they do. I I would have preferred if something like Ranger had
Yep.
been next
Agreed.
or Brute even.
Yep.
Uh I think the only classes I would currently not have been happy to see would have been Ninja and Runeblade
Yep.
are the two for me. And
Valid.
I guess to a lesser degree Wizard too, because it does feel like the Wizards that they've been coming out with recently have had very uh flavorful card pools or like pretty,
Wizard just got turned to Mindfire. Wizard does not need any additional more support.
yeah, like there's some pretty
Full
gross
top.
stuff that came out in the rare
Aether
slot.
Sling, same, like Aether Sling in Kano when he comes back in Sage, gonna be a problem.
Yeah, even the deal 3 arcane if it deals, you can tap your hero to deal an additional one
Yeah.
like that. there's just so many gross cards that came out
Yeah.
recently in Omens that I don't think Wizard really needs the help right now.
Yeah.
Needless to say, the internet, aka Twitter and or X, whatever you want to call it, has come to the conclusion to kind of meme all over Brian Gottlieb, who is the, I believe, lead set designer for Master Pack
Yep.
Assassin. And that's no secret. He loves Assassin. Arachne, I believe, is his favorite hero. No matter what like representation or version of
Yep.
Arachne. Uh, so obviously, like Brian Gottlieb has a little bit of bias toward Assassin as a class. However, I would ask people to have faith in LSS in realizing that Brian Gottlieb's
Just because
bias.
Brian Gottlieb likes it doesn't mean that
Yeah.
it's something that's going to be printed
Yeah, exactly, right? Like,
or should be printed.
it's not like he walked into the designer room at LSS and went, "Hey guys, we're doing Master Pack Assassin, and if you disagree with me,
You're fired.
you're you're forever going to be working on Super Slam 2 or something." Like jokingly, I love Super Slam, but anyhow, I don't think that this set deserves the hate it's currently getting. I also don't think it's getting as much as people think, because I really do feel like there are just a couple of very vocal
Yes.
voices within the Flesh and Blood community who are currently ragging on it, which is like whatever, that happens.
Yeah.
It's going to be any card game or game for that matter. Heroes like Azuri and currently Slippy for sure are kind of just on the bench right now.
Yep.
Azuri hasn't had any competitive relevance since Mistveil meta, where I think she won a Pro Tour.
She did win the Pro Tour, but I feel like even then
But
she
that
wasn't
was
meta relevant.
it
She
was
was just
such a
able
meta
to
call.
attack the meta.
Yeah, it was such a meta call. And that's the thing with Assassin as a class, is that it has some of the best disruption in the game. And just the question is, did you bring the right sideboard slots
Yeah.
in order to win your games? And it's like, okay, if half the meta is Enigma, New, and Zen, okay, I'm just gonna bring like a highly tuned Azuri list to that, and it'll probably do pretty well if I have the right tools. Point being made though, uh, we're getting Master Pack Assassin whether people like it or not, right? Like it's in the print run here. We got Mortimer, who looks really really cool, and I'm not a huge fan of like card erratas, but errataing the original disease cycle to have like a disease subtype so that they can refer to it without adding 2 lines of text to every card.
Yep.
Sweet. I'm so down.
Yeah. And it
Uh
makes sense.
yeah, and it feels like something where if Outsiders had been designed today, they would have just done that.
Yeah.
Like they would have given themselves the out, even if they had nothing that referred to disease as a type.
Yeah.
Um, so
Because I mean, like people
yeah,
also refer to them as the diseases. Like it's not like it's a we're creating something new, which is
yep,
a good thing, I think. So
yeah. So we've seen a couple cards from Master Pack Assassin already spoiled. A few cards that are very like Mortimer specific. His really cool D react that just like is a trap and then also gives all 3 tokens.
yeah.
That's like really really cool. Needless to say, I pray that we get Master Pack Ranger and Master Pack Brute, and just like eventually we'll get
Yeah.
like a Master Pack for every class. Um, Whether or not it continues from there, like let's say we go like, okay, Master Pack Guardian 2 or Master Pack Warrior 2. That's like yet to be seen and probably won't be necessary for another 5 years at least. Because if they're doing like 2 to 3 a year,
Yeah.
um, presumably we'd be in like 2028 or 2029 before there was ever even talk about a second
Yeah.
addition to
Mastery
one
Pack
of these.
Guardian.
Yeah. So, uh, as soon as Marionette leaves the meta, we have 3 assassins left. We have
Yep.
Huntsman, Azuri, Slippy. With the loss of Bonds of Agony, both Slippy and Azuri took a pretty big hit. Not like Azuri was using Bonds of Agony to such a degree as both New and Slippy at the time of its being legal. Because like Slippy giving it automatic go again, like if you start a hand with Bonds of Agony with 3 cards behind it, and you just kind of like look at your opponent and you like shrug, and you go, "Do I have 3 attack reactions in my hand, or do I have 3 attack actions or whatever?" Very very strong. Azuri still used it fine. She could put a stealth attack onto the chain, activate Azuri, switch in the Bonds of Agony, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, now we're getting there.
Yep.
But like with that card gone, and thank goodness it is, I really don't miss it. They both need some support. Because you can't just like take away Bonds of Agony, which both was their identity as stealth based heroes for a while, and probably shouldn't have been their identity as stealth based heroes for a while, and then put them in this weird void where like we don't get a great stealth card for
Yep.
a hot minute, or in Azuri's case, a good card to switch in to. Anyhow, like as soon as Marionette's gone, we have 3 assassins that are all like 2 of them are very fringe, where if you just like enjoy playing Slippy and Azuri, you play them. Huntsman, uh, I'd
Huntsman
argue
will always
is
be fringe, just based off playstyle.
yeah, he is an assassin by definition of the game. It is printed on his card, but his playstyle is extremely unique to the point where I wouldn't even really consider him in the same conversation as other assassins.
He gets to play Codex of Frailty and leave no witnesses.
Yeah, which everyone else does too, and they're pretty good. But the
Yep.
thing is, like, if I'm playing like Azuri and I do that once or twice a game, I'm banishing like maybe 2 cards from you.
Yeah.
Uh, every other card in Huntsman just like banishes cards now. So, eh, people need to learn how to play against Fatigue, I guess, or at least
Yep.
the weird version of Fatigue that Huntsman is, because
Correct.
he's the most unique Fatigue deck in the game by
Yeah.
a mile. So
Yeah. And also too, like with we saw it with Mastery Pack Warrior, is you can print some assassin staples now,
mm-hmm.
reprint them back in. So we can get our Leave No Witness reprint, we can get a Codex
Yes,
reprint. And I think that like the Codex weren't, but the assassin cards from Dynasty that kind of had the weird misprintings and things like that around them, we can kind of like help that have the prices come down a little bit or settle in a certain way, which I think will be beneficial. But like, I think there's a lot of things like the biggest thing to me is just like assassins really don't have a place in the meta. Yes, Mario is strong. That's not me saying that Mario is not strong or one of the best decks in the format isn't an assassin. It's this the assassin class as a whole doesn't get to do a lot. And I think the same thing with warriors is like they didn't get to do a lot, and Mastery Pack Warrior gave them that opportunity to like open up those play lands and open up those play patterns. And if
yeah,
that's the purpose and that's the reasoning behind a Mastery Pack, good. Assassin needs that. Ranger needs that. Brute needs that, and that will come in the future, and I'll be happy when it comes in the future. But
yeah. Class
I think the other
identity
thing that we're not
is
talking about is Azuri, and I'll say Slippy too, and Huntsman to a degree. Huntsman's seen more support in this way than others, but you can't just feed and inject heroes expansion slot cards that are majestic power level.
yeah,
It creates weird deck density and deck power levels that like become unhealthy. You need common and rare additional support cards. Again, Mastery Pack Assassin, Mastery Packs in general, give that support into those decks
mm-hmm.
and heroes.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm excited for the Majestics that we get to see, but I am more excited for like the weird fringe playable stealth cards that we get, or
Yep.
potential like new contract cards. Um, and like you said, Leave No Witnesses right now is $25 a pop or something. Codex of Frailty is still 25 ish a pop, even after getting reprinted. Like, it's an expensive class to play.
Yep.
And if us getting a master pack allows us to reprint Leave the Witnesses, Surgical Extraction, maybe like all 3 codexes, uh, even like rares like Shred. Like shred copies, non-foil from Dynasty, I think are like a couple bucks each. Don't quote me on that. I just
Yeah.
think they are. So if we get to like reprint that at rare and or common, like that sounds great. Just make it more readily available to players who want to get into the class,
Yeah.
and define the class so that it isn't just 4 pump, 4 pump, 4 pump, activate Tunic,
Yes.
Chelicera, T-Tox the Trillis. You know, like that's not. That's a way you can play Marionette, and it's the best way to play Marionette, as proven by tournament results. But I guarantee you that like LSS developers put a lot of the stealth cards in the Hunted set as an intended card to be put into Marionette lists, and it just kind of got moved aside because like dagger pumps were just mathematically the best.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a bummer, honestly. Like I really enjoyed like the early days of Marionette lists where people were putting in a lot of like the 0 for 3s that turned into 0 for 4s
Yeah.
when your opponent was marked. Like
I
that was
think now
cool.
you just run Mark of the Black Widow.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Yeah.
it. And like maybe like persuasive
It has a disruptive
prognosis.
effect.
Yeah. Very, very few stealth attack actions in that list. So is what it is. Uh Time will tell as we get more cards. Mortimer seems really cool.
Yeah.
Aesthetically speaking, I think that's going to be a really, really big hit for new players. I already have a few friends who are like relatively new to the game who saw that trailer and were like, big success. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah.
Because it is an interesting playstyle, right? Because it's like
I think
you have
there's two
to
edges
cure
to
your
it, which is
opponent,
cool. Yep.
so you have to remove their debuff to get silver. Okay, well, certain matchups, I want my opponent to like keep the inertia token until end of turn, and the majority of the time, I want my opponent to keep the blood debt until the end of turn. Uh, but it's weird, right? Because your frailty tokens, which are usually 50-50. Like if I'm playing into a warrior or an assassin mirror, yeah, those are
Hmm.
very, very good. Uh, well, now I'm playing in a wizard, and I give you a frailty with Codex of Frailty, and now I just get to make a silver, right? Like,
Yeah.
sweet, sounds good. And then there's also weird cases too, where like into warriors, you get your frailty throughout the entire turn, and then they go to end, and you go, okay, activate Mortimer, make a silver, sweet, seems really good to me. And we're getting some more silver support, so I'm pumped. But we'll keep it short for now. We haven't gotten the
I think
most.
the more we
Yeah,
see from Mastery Pack Assassin, like the card pool or like how it's going to play, like especially like the crack shuffle play
yeah,
experience, I think that's going to give us a really good look because I think one of the things that's really difficult with like why not Master Pack Ranger is because the Rangers that need support, Marlin and Riptide, play really differently than each other. So trying to put that mesh together well in a crack shuffle play experience, probably not beneficial.
it's weird
So
because like Marlin's a pirate,
yeah,
also like that's a huge part of her identity. So
the gold generation.
mixing that with like traps too doesn't
Yeah,
seem like the easiest thing in the
yeah.
world. But yeah, like right
Um,
right now it feels like we're missing that third ranger.
yeah.
Uh and whether that's like Lexi comes
Azalea 2.
back or Azalea comes back, we'll see.
Yeah.
Um I guess I'm interested to see what heroes are in the Mastery Pack Assassin crack shuffle play environment.
It's more
Did
Azuri
they
Huntsman.
did they officially
Yeah,
say? Okay.
yeah, it's confirmed.
All right, so 3 generic assassins then. No chaos cards. Uh so they're skipping out on Slippy. That's fine.
Yeah,
Slippy has an armory deck too, so there's like a pretty easy point of entry for people interested.
yeah, that's a good point.
And Slippy plays stealth cards, so
Yeah.
they don't
And I
have
think
to
the other
be
thing
chaos.
too is with mastery packs, we're seeing like in class hate, which helps mirrors and
Yeah,
makes those more interesting, which is always exciting. So, um, I'm excited to play around with those. Um,
there's some weird ones,
yeah,
man. The Master Pack Warrior ones that are like 1 cost pumps for 4 that have like
yeah,
on hit discard, on hit destroy arsenal, or on hit destroy an equipment with 0 defense value. Like they're pretty legit cards.
yeah.
I think the Master Pack Guardian ones kind of fell flat.
I think
because
they created more issues in other formats, specifically Sage. That's a
yes,
different point.
yeah. So, and in those cases, like they only play those because they're 4 blocks. They don't play it for the
Yeah,
clash.
yeah.
So,
But that's enough on Master Pack Assassin. I'm sure we'll talk about it more as we
oh yeah,
play the Crack
yeah.
Shuffle play, as we see things spoiled like that as well. But obviously, as we drift closer to Usurp releasing, we drift further into spoiler season. And there's a couple cards we both want to talk about, acknowledge, whether for the future of Flesh and Blood or the future of the set or this other things like that, to go. But I know you got one to start us off, Carter.
Oh my goodness, Zach, we gotta talk about Ingest the Unknown. Okay, let me paint you a picture. Your Tudic resource comes off of your Tudic, and you play Ingest the Unknown as a 1 card 13 because you hit Shed and Death Hydra off the top of your deck. Is this Magical Christmas Land? Yes. Does Levia have a number of non attack action cards that she plays in her deck? Also, yes. Will this most likely just hit a 6 and then it's just a 1 for 6 that turns off your hero ability for the turn?
Yeah,
Yeah, like you're not wrong. Uh, but, but, has Brute recently received a number of cards that allow you to rig the top card of your deck, whether it is in uh, clashing, right, with your opponent, such as like Vigorous Smash Up, or in super rares such as Song of Sanu from Super Slam, which you get to look at your top 4 and rearrange them in the order you wish. Yes. Again, I don't think this card's going to be in competitive lists, but
I think it provides a unique thing in sealed as well.
yeah,
So
it is a really cool second cycle card, which is awesome. I'm always a big proponent of those, and then it's also just a weird build around card, which are
yeah.
always fun. So
Yeah, but I want to talk about a Malice card, Restless Cleric, and not because of any of the effects on the card, because it says Cleric, and therefore I think this means that we're going to see a Cleric hero in the future. That's all I got. The effect is unique because you're able to gain life, with the decay effect and things like that going on there. It's pretty unique in that regard, and I'm for that. But I think like also seeing LSS. Give us like a pure mention of a cleric, like win.
yeah,
So I've always been excited for a cleric class. So like that's cool. I like the art on it. Looks fantastic. I think these zombies that Malice has are gonna look really good, and they're gonna come in Marvel as well. So
yeah.
um,
It's interesting
excited for that.
because we're going from Gravy Bones, who had every single ally he could summon has a name,
Yeah,
to Malice, who instead of having a pirate crew that there's like
says
any
Chuck
level
G
of
Fun.
fondness,
Yep,
every single one of these zombies is just like generic, like, adjective, noun.
what they are. Yeah.
Like,
Well,
it,
it's like I also think it's so. If we make again, if we go back to lore and we're gonna get a cleric, is they're ravaging through Solana,
mhm,
and Malice is you know making these things come back to life. She's brought a cleric back to life. So we know there are clerics in Solana.
yeah.
The ball's in your court, LSS. Give me
I
my cleric
mean,
hero.
I would absolutely love if next set we get like the light equivalent of a Usurp and we get a
Yeah,
new class
yeah,
with it.
that'd be really
Maybe
cool.
it's moving a little bit too fast, right? Because like Necromancer is only a year old. Maybe we give a little bit more time in the oven
Yeah,
to
I
produce
agree.
that. But does
I wouldn't
this hint at
mind
it?
if like the end of this year is Usurp, the end of next year is Light Usurp.
Ooh,
I
sure.
think that would be a good way to do it rather than them going back to back. But that's a different point.
I'm not even mad if they go back to back. Honestly, I'd
Yeah,
be
but I
perfectly
think like
fine.
if you're going to introduce a new class,
Sure. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. In that case, for sure.
yeah, yeah,
One thing I do want to point out with Malice though too is, unlike Gravy Bones, she really can't just sit around, which is really cool to me because I'm really sick and tired of ally decks getting to play like really really slow games at my armory,
mm,
and Malice feels a lot like a deck that is going to be juggling 13 different things, and then the moment that her little like unicycle hits a rock, she just like immediately falls flat on her face and takes like 7 blood debt and dies. I
yeah.
I am a huge proponent of like we are now getting a board state deck that feels one more aggressive than other ones. A lot of your allies are like zero costs, but they also are like only head jabs or whatever. Like that's kind of cool. And two, the deck punishes you for sitting still
Yeah,
because like the moment your dudes decay and you start getting all those corpses and you're banished them that have blood debt, you can't really just like pass the turn and wait for your opponent to do something or like to
yeah.
run them out of cards or whatever. So feels like a very aggressive board
It's
state
yeah,
list.
it's
So
cool.
yeah,
We haven't really seen that before. And then we get one final card, which is in the expansion slot here. Apex Buster. Um, is it Apex? Yeah, Apex Buster.
Apex Buster.
Yeah.
This is the
Has the from
weirdest.
hand. So I think this is the first time we've seen a card like has the instant hand trap effect that you have to pay a resource for.
You had a few like the prevention
No,
ones.
dualities.
Yeah, like Omens also has like the one that just prevents a damage
Valid.
and makes a flow token. But yeah, like I love this design space. Like instant speed discard from hand cards. I know people are not huge fans of like hand traps
Yep.
per se, like ripple away, right? But this one feels pretty stinking cool, and I also don't think the effect is like that backbreaking unless you're a very select hero named Teklevasin. If I'm playing Teklevasin and my brute opponent presents any attack action card printed in their deck, and I have to worry about this stupid, this stupid discard effect from hand, I am going to cry.
Well, I mean, like, it's an in class pummel. That's
Yeah,
fine.
it's a weird side grade pummel. A few things that I think are really cool with this card, by the way. Uh, in the defense step, if you're playing Reinar, and like so, like let's say your opponent blocks with cards, and they have like a D react they want to play, right? You can pay 2 resources in the declare blockers step, but before reactions, to destroy one of the defending cards, and then Reinar sees you discarding a 6, so you intimidate.
Yes. Beautiful.
This card is like in the situations where it's amazing, it is like such a good card. In the situations where it's like mediocre, it's like okay, I would rather have a pummel here,
Yeah.
most likely. But it's a 6 too, so like if you randomly draw then discard this, like you're not punished. This is sweet. It gives like
Yeah.
brutes a little bit more like
Flavor.
ability to put an on hit or like a disruptive thing in their deck without hurting their ratio of 6 power or greater cards.
Yeah.
So
But
I don't know.
that's all we got with the Usurp spoilers. Um, Anything else, Carter?
Not particularly. Just as a reminder for those listening, obviously this is a little bit shorter episode this week. Join the Discord down below if you guys want to ask us any questions for our mailbag episode, our very first one next week.
Yeah,
So,
we got some good questions already, which should hopefully spur some debate, and then hopefully our conversation on them spur further debate, which is a big reason we're doing these mailbag questions as well. So help engage the community, think about the game a little differently, learn something new maybe in the time between as well.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and then obviously as we head into September, we have Usurp the Shadow Throne coming out very soon. So stay tuned for a ton more content on a weekly basis with this podcast
Yeah.
and potential other videos from both Zach and myself. If you guys want to continue to support our channels, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, the like button, as well as add any comments or criticism or whatever in the comment section, because I'm sure that helps the YouTube algorithm somehow.
And it helps
Uh,
us get better at what we're doing too.
yes,
It's
yes.
feedback is always good.
You can find me at Revel and Wraith, the channel you're currently watching this on, most likely, as well as Zach on his channel,
Sigil of something.
where he posts content about more thinky things.
Yeah. I always like to call it the academic side of Fab, but again, lots of stuff on mindset preparation. And then I just had some stuff about, you're a new player. What's the pipeline from Sage to CC and understanding hero archetypes and how they play out
Mm-hmm.
and things like that as well, which is pretty exciting.
Yep. And then I guess a final note: the best thing that you can do if you wish to support this podcast and the creation of it, as well as our content in other realms, is to tell a friend. The Flesh and Blood community is extremely tightly knit. We absolutely love you guys. We love this card game, and we love being a part of it. But the best part about this community is that advertising is primarily word of mouth.
Yeah.
So if you know people at your local game store who would enjoy listening to two white guys talk about a card game for 40 minutes to an hour every week, we're the podcast for you, buddy. So
hey, we have some takes.
We have some good takes.
Yeah.
And some bad ones. But, one of us is a Runeblade player and the other's a wizard, so what's new? Anyhow, we will see you guys in next week's episode, the first mailbag episode in Cast Oblivion history. Bye.
Bye.